I gotta say some things here because I'm seeing a lot of Native people posting really dumb stuff. Native people are supporting Gaza and like spouting free Palestine nonsense and then trying to make it sound like, well, it's because they are being colonized and we were colonized. I expect better from Native people, and I'll tell you why. If we allow the argument that Arabs who conquered and colonized the entire Middle East in the 7th century somehow became indigenous because they conquered and colonized a shitload of indigenous people, then we have to kind of allow the argument that white people in North America and, like the kind of off-white people in South and Central America, well, now they're indigenous because they've been here since 1492. That's a terrible argument. And I'm pretty sure most of you, if you think about it, you'll be like, yeah, no, that's not a good argument. And we know this objectively, that the Arabs conquered and colonized the entire Middle East. They are the mainstream in the Middle East. There are, at last count, I believe, 388 million Muslim Arabs in the Middle East, which is by far the largest majority. So they would be the white people of the Middle East. Like, make no mistake, they control it. Everyone speaks their language. The vast majority follows their religion. The vast majority considers themselves culturally Arab. So yeah, be better, be smarter. Like this whole simping for Arab colonialism shit's got to stop. Like, I get it. In 1970 or whatever it was, when Yasser Arafat, came here and started sucking up to the American Indian movement and telling everybody, oh, you're just like us. What did they ever do for us? Did they send us money? Did they do anything at all? No. All they did was make a few empty words. That's it. Like, so smarten up. As somebody whose people went through an actual genocide, I get a little bit offended when people whose population grew during their so-called genocide didn't just grow a little bit either, but grew sixfold, right? Meanwhile, our people that went through a real genocide went from numbers of like 65 million to less than 3. That's what a genocide is. So that's why I don't like when people misuse that word. And apartheid. In Canada, we have 2 laws for 2 people in one state. We literally have the Indian Act, which in some ways protects us because of the treaties, but in a lot of other ways is 2 laws for 2 people in one state, which is the de facto definition of apartheid. So when I see Native people talking about Israel and they've never been there, and they talk about how Israel's apartheid, that pisses me off too. Because language matters. Every time we allow them to delegitimize a word that describes the experiences of our people in order to stand in solidarity with a group of people that don't give a shit about us, that's a problem. And I gotta tell you, man, this is all stuff that's so easy to find. Like, the Arab historians are the ones that documented the Arab conquest. I mean, it's not like it was some white guy wrote it to make the Muslims look bad. It literally was their own historians that documented everything. And I suggest you go and read some of that stuff. But we do know that when they say there was a village called this in a certain area here, we've seen them trace that stuff. We know that stuff is real. So, like, this whole idea that, oh no, Jews all came from Europe, we know that that's not true. Like, come on, guys. And I would think that as a group of people who have gone through genocide, who have experienced colonialism firsthand, we would be just a little bit more hesitant about allowing people who are colonizers themselves to claim our struggle on behalf of them, and while they're attacking another indigenous group. If you thought I was doing this for money, you're sorely mistaken. I live on a ranch in northern Alberta. That's how I make my money. That's how I make my living. It's not very good money, but I'm okay with it because I live on the settlement and I can hunt, I can fish, I got a garden. But yeah, this whole thing where, oh, well, he's a Zionist, so he must be getting all kinds of money from Israel. Yeah, I wish. Let's be blunt here. This whole myth about, Zionist influencers is absolute bullshit. And I did see Raven Nanny try to claim that I'm some kind of Israeli spy because I traveled, and then I told him that I'm a hunter. Yeah, I hunt. That's why I'm fat. Cree people can tell you. The only fat people in Cree society were people that were really good at killing things. Legit. So anyway, my name is Ryan Bellerose. I live on the Paddle Prairie Metis settlement. I am Metis, and I don't really give a shit if you believe me or not. Anybody that lives here knows who I am.